All About Wraps strives to offer our clients with fast, affordable service, with race wraps starting at only $500. From go-karts to national touring teams and everything in between. Late models, modifieds, sprint cars, midgets, asphalt cars, and we'll even decal your helmets. Wraps, design services, and promotions. Everything we offer at All About Wraps. Contact us today to see what we can do for your team. Give us a call, 410-903-3302. Email us at allaboutraps@hotmail.com and visit us on Facebook at All About Wraps.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Undisputed, unrealistic, unscripted, and unrehearsed. This is Finish Line, a weekly podcast talking about the positive and negative of motorsports, asking the questions to drivers, promoters, and personalities, getting the information and responses of the sport others dare not to ask or even discuss. This is Finish Line. This radio podcast is from the heart, an in-depth analysis of everything in NASCAR, NHRA, IHRA, IndyCar, grassroots motorsports, asphalt, dirt, drag racing, karting, tractor pulling, boat racing, demolition derbies, and much more. From touring events to national, regional, weekly, and more. This is the podcast where the bull stops here. Whether it's asphalt, dirt, or drag racing, or anything else in life, there is always a finish line. Now, he's a respected veteran broadcaster with over 20-plus years' experience calling all forms of sports for public address, TV, and radio, from NASCAR to the grassroots. Please welcome your host, Wesley Outland. This is Finish Line.
Wednesday, April 10th, 2019. Welcome to another edition of the podcast. That is episode number 9 since its inception. This is Finish Line on Fox Sports Radio, Community Radio Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and iTunes Radio, tuned in as well. I'm your host, Wesley Outland. Hope you've all been having a great start to your week so far. We've got an awesome guest panel lined up for you this evening, or this morning, actually. Matter of fact, we're going to go to the phone lines because we are a little bit behind schedule. And we are getting ready to go to the line and connect to our first guest. We're going to spend probably about 8 minutes or so with him because I know he's obligated to do something at 11:30. But we are going to chat it up with Lee Pulliam. Got an awesome guest panel today. Everything from asphalt to dirt, pro late models, super late models, modifieds. Got a great show for you, I believe. Got a great guest panel lined up for our April 10th edition of the Finish Line podcast. It's presented by allaboutwraps.net and CrateInsider.com. Let's go to the phone lines right now. Like I said, we're not going to waste any time getting on our guest panel to join us on the program. And we're going to go to the lines here quickly and join our first guest. We're going to spend about 7 minutes with him because we did have some other things going on that put us a little behind. So, and I know he's also got some other obligations. I think he said he had a doctor's appointment or some type of a meeting coming up at 11:30. So we're going to spend probably about 7 or 8 minutes with this driver, and then we'll let him go because I know he's got a busy schedule ahead of him today, and I don't want to hold him up. But it's not very often that you have the same driver on for 2 straight weeks in a row. But for this driver, we had to have him on. We had him on last weekend to talk about the preparation of preparing for the biggest late model stock race in the history, 30,000 to win of the Old State or North State Nationals. Well, he turns around and he ends up winning it from out in Virginia. Lee Pulliam, $30,000 champion, amidst all the other great accolades you have. Lee, how's it going, buddy? Welcome back to Finish Line 2 weeks in a row.
Hey guys, how you doing today? It's been a pretty cool week for us to have all 3 cars run that good and end up in victory lane with my car was definitely a pretty big weekend for us.
Absolutely. Listen, just talk about the race itself. Obviously, we can only spend about 7 or 8 minutes with you because I know you got some other obligations going on at 11:30. But we had another show that ran a little bit later than it was supposed to have, and I try to be nice to those guys. So Dan Gottlieb, I do forgive you. But with that being said, Lee Pulliam, just talk about everything this past weekend. What was your thoughts? The atmosphere, the electricity that was the Cars Tour, Old North State Nationals at Orange County Speedway.
No, it was special. I think it was, like you said, the atmosphere, like you could feel it in the air. You could feel people's nerves, the pressure it was going to be to try to win that race. And it was a special event right from the get-go. So I'm really excited to hear that they're trying to bring it back next year and several, many years to come. So I think the event's going to continue to grow. There was a lot of talk about it. It was a heck of a show, We had some really, really good drivers and good cars, and you can ask for a better race for the fans. A lot of beating and banging and swapping the lead and strategy, and it was, just all around just an awesome race to be a part of.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, Lee. I was actually hanging out with your crew. Your hauler got stuck, and they were trying to help move it for you because obviously you were there and the Cars Tour officials trailer was there. That's the only 2 haulers that were left. And I finally went down there probably before 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I said, hey, what's the word? Is he officially past tech? Is it 100%? And they said, yeah, he's good to go. We're just trying to work on getting him out of the parking lot. But I can tell you that I was hanging out with some of the Cars Tour officials and Terry and Mary Beth deal with the people at Orange County Speedway, and they are in the works of working on the 2020 Old North State National, so it will be back next year.
Yeah. Like I said, I've talked to them a little bit about it myself, and I was down there. I'm the hauler driver, so I'm the race car driver and set it up, and I drive the hauler and all that good stuff. So I was sitting there waiting to get pulled out. So Cars Tour did a great job. It was a very thorough tech, which when you win that kind of money, it should be. They pulled the engine apart, pulled the rear end out, checked for camber and tow, and pulled the transmission apart.
Exactly.
Pulled the shocks and springs off, and a lot of stuff. They checked the wiring in the car, pulled the door off, and it was a pretty thorough inspection process. And
Lee, was there ever any worry? Lee, was there ever any worry that you weren't going to pass inspection? Did you ever think that there might be a loophole or something through in it, or do you think that they do a really thorough job on making sure everything's done right?
No, they do a thorough job. I mean, I wasn't worried about nothing in tech. It's just, they need to do that kind of stuff just to keep everything on the up and up. So I was proud of the tour. I thought they did a phenomenal job all weekend. I thought the race was run well, and I just don't, I don't see how it could have been much more of a success than what it was.
Why do you think the car count was so off?
I don't really think car count was off that much. I think they were shooting for about 40 cars, and they could have easily had that. It was in the mid to high 30s, and I just don't think that race is brought to bring the best cars. They're shooting for the absolute best cars,